You're tuned in to Talkin Tigers on KCRV Radio, your home for Caruthersville Tiger sports for over 40 years. Your host, Ryan McDaniel, is ready to chat with Coach, break down all things Tigers football, and even speak with player guests. We'll be back with Talkin Tigers after a quick word from our awesome broadcast sponsors.
Agriculture is not a fad, and it's not for the faint of heart. Long days become long nights, sacrificing time away from family, even on weekends, just so you can get the crop in and get the crop out. This is your way of life. At Farm Credit Southeast Missouri, we are 100% bought into your commitment. Because we are customer-owned, it is our mission to be your ag lender, and we intend to be your value-added partner for next year and the long term.
Your ag lender will always be there.
Call Jay Ward or Jack Giles in Portageville at 573-379-3461.
Baker Implement Company and Case IH are proud to support area high school athletics the same way we've supported our customers in the community for 85 years. Visit any of our 13 locations in Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas to experience the power of red and the service and support that has kept customers coming back since 1938. Case IH and Baker Implement Company, supporting our community on the football field and in your field.
The human body is capable of the extraordinary. As well as the not so extraordinary. No matter your skill, restore your peak performance with the Orthodox, a dream team of orthopedic surgery. Get back in the game with the Orthodox at NEA Baptist.
Welcome into the program, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us on this edition of Talking Tigers. You can find the show on KCRV Facebook. Search up the Facebook page and you can watch the show there. Or you can go to YouTube, KCRV Live, and watch the show there. Joined today by Coach G and Tigers quarterback Ryan Guess. Guys, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm good, man. Just gearing up for practice number 2 of the week. 3, really. 3 of the week.
Yeah, so congrats on the win on Friday night against St.Pius. I know it was a hard-fought victory. How do you guys feel starting out 1-0 at home? It's got to feel pretty good, doesn't it?
It definitely feels really good. It feels a lot better than last year, seeing as because the team we play they're a pretty good team, and we'll probably end up seeing them again if we go as far as we want to in the playoffs.
So you guys take a look at game 1. What were some of the things that you thought you guys did really well in this game, something that you can build upon in the upcoming weeks? And what are some things you kind of feel like, okay, we need to tweak this heading into Malden this week?
We ran the ball really well. We started out kind of rough. Jet sweep's always in our favor just because, we got a all-state receiver, and it's really fast. But some of the things we need to tighten up and stuff are like our route running. Or we're too close on some of them. Obviously, the ball over as many times as I did. And we just got some of our blocking assignments. We missed some blocking assignments, so that kind of cost us a little bit. But other than that, it was a pretty good game.
I think what the big thing is this last winter I decided when we're going to do a jamboree. Now, there's positives and negatives to jamborees. There's you get out there and you can knock some of the rust off. You hit somebody new. You kind of get to some or as close to live game experience as you can. The negative is there's always that chance of injury. I don't play my starters very much in jamborees anyway. So, for instance, if we played a jamboree, Ryan probably would have played 5, 6, 7 plays total. So we kind of saw both areas of not having a jamboree on Friday night. I think we were healthy, we were fresh, but we also were rusty. And I think a lot of the things that we experienced that were missteps, such as blocks not being held as long as they need to, wide receiver spacing, timing, all those little things that you can only really get in a game situation, it took us about a quarter to really get rolling. And we talk about turnovers. Like, you love to turn the ball over to Jamboree, watch the film, and correct it for week 2. Well, guess what? No Jamboree. So I'm still glad I made a decision. I'd probably make the same decision again. And I think as the game progressed, we got a lot better. I watched a lot. I've watched the game 5 or 6 times at this point, and I really started watching each individual position group on offense and defense. And our defense came out swinging. Like, they did a great job. Offense was slow to go. I noticed that we were kind of missing some holes. We weren't finishing a couple blocks. But as the game progressed, you could definitely tell once we got in the groove of things. And even just if you look at Sammy's yard by yard, we had a negative play here, a 2-yard play, 3-yard play. Then we're 5, 6, 7, 20, 40, 5, 10, 8. So then you're starting to really get rolling on the ground. They had a good scheme for our jet sweep. Well, guess what? We evaluated that, and we have something a little different from Malden. So we kind of settled in perfect. And to be honest with you, having a first game like that when you're playing St.Pius, I mean, they only lit up over 40 points one time last year. It's the St. Vincent. I mean, you're talking about an experienced defense, and it's a 3-3 stack, which not a ton of people run well. And I say well because some people run 3-3 stack, and it's not done well. So they did a really good job of staying within their scheme and scheming us up. And they had some big dudes, and they were physical, and they were strong. And it was a really hard fought football game. And I left the game like, oh, this mistake. And I think early on in the weekend, I lost sight of the fact that we won by 21 points. And I think the kids have too. And I think that's a positive because they look at it as, yeah, we won, but we left this on the field. And that kind of propels them into the next week of really taking practice seriously, honing out on things that we messed up, and really moving forward.
Yeah, without a doubt, your run defense, you mentioned the defense coming out swinging. The run defense was really amazing. How proud of you are your defense and being able to just stop the run, being able to plug up the holes, and be able to hold them pretty well in the running game. And conversely, how proud are you of like Sammy and his persistence throughout the game, and just being able to keep on working that defense and being able to break off for those positive yards?
I mean, we're blessed. I mean, one of our outside linebackers started as a freshman. And he's a freshman that power cleans almost 300 pounds. And he's 14. He's the youngest kid. He's the youngest sophomore we have. Our other outside linebacker, Jasmine Thomas, really stepped up. He was really good. I mean, you look at the middle of our defense, we have all-conference, all-state, Derwin finalist, Oscar, all-conference. So it's going to be really tough for anybody to really run off the middle on us as long as we stay assignment sound. So I was really proud of those guys. I didn't expect anything less from them. They're aggressive. They're physical. They like to hit. I think we out-physicaled them in that aspect of the game. And then Sammy, I mean, it's hard. Running back's tougher than people think. They think you just give them the ball and they got to just go. You got to follow pullers. You have to let time. If you're too fast, you're going to overrun a block. If you're too slow, you're going to get wrapped up by somebody on the backside. So as he started getting his feet back underneath him, I mean, the kid rushed for almost 180 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game where it was a slugfest. I mean, score-wise to an extent, yeah, but definitely on the field. Punch for punch. Nothing was easy. I mean, he had to evade a tackle, back out of a play, and then basically turned a corner and ran a 40-yard touchdown. I mean, that's the old Sammy. And when he started showing flashes of how he ended last season, I was like, all right, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, no doubt. One thing I kept on noticing was just him being able to break off that run, like you said, and just keep on working. I think if you get the old Sammy back, it's going to be really great for you guys heading into Malden this week and then heading into the next few games of the season. Ryan, going to you, and I guess this is for both of you, well, actually just for Ryan, you're coming into this year as a starter, as a senior, third year, 4 years of the program. What would you say that you took a look at heading into this upcoming season? And after game one, what would you say is the thing you kind of took a look at the most? It's like, okay, I want to improve at this as a quarterback, whether that's in the film room or whether that's on the field. What would you say is the thing you took a look at the most and say, I want to improve at that?
Definitely getting the ball out on time. Getting the ball on time, preventing throwing interceptions or turning the ball over or whatever, and reading pre-snap coverages. Like last year and the years before, I kind of struggled on reading those, and this year I'm a lot better at that. Just on Friday, I kind of underestimated them at first. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they were. They were some good and tall boys, and I think if we played them again, I'd do a lot better than what I did. I think the whole offense would, for sure.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, I noticed a couple RPOs. I guess kind of for those that don't know, RPOs, run pass options. Talk about how quick and precise you have to be as a quarterback in making those decisions, because those can be split-second decisions as a quarterback. So how quick and decisive are those decisions?
It's got to be, for RPO, it's got to be like right at a second, or sometimes under a second. You're reading whatever your read key is, you got to read him really quick and get the ball out fast, or else if you don't get it out fast, it's illegal man downfield. That's a flag on you. It's your fault. So you got to be real precise. You got to be real precise on where you put the ball, because if you have a safety over the top of one of your routes or whatever, you got to throw it in there. And really, it's not just one read key. Really, you're reading two different guys. So to read two different guys at once, it's got to be like really, really quick. It took a lot of work over the summer to get that down pat.
All right, I'll go and talk a little bit about this. This is actually for both of you. So you're at home last week. You're on the road this week. How do you prepare for road games, knowing that you're going to opposing team stadium and knowing that you're going to have a lot of fans that are against you? But so how do you prepare for the atmosphere and going on the road?
Really, we prepare the same way every week, regardless of where it is, because regardless of where we are, there's always going to be fans here that come here and they're going to be talking to us and trying to get in our heads and everything. But regardless of where we're at, we always practice the same.
And I agree. Let's be honest. I mean, people don't really like playing at Caruthersville because the crowd is the crowd, and they really get after people, and they're loud, and we have a great fan base here. For me, I always prefer being at home. I mean, I like being home, like playing the game at home. So when we travel, it adds, yes, another element of, it's almost, game day is more rushed. I mean, that's really the first road game of the season. You're working out all the kinks because every team is different. Every road trip is different. I mean, you could have been in Malden. I mean, this is my second trip to Malden. My first game as head coach was at Malden. But I have a whole different crew of guys, a whole new set of administration. So on the coach's end, it kind of adds a little bit of work. But we really try to minimize this, where the kids, they go to school, or they pack their bags up on Thursday, they go to school, they go to feed the Tigers, they come back to the field house, take the bag, throw it in the box truck, get on the bus, and let's go. Practice-wise, we're experimenting with something different this week in practice. I actually liked how today went, and just to kind of add like a new flavor to practice anyway. But our philosophy stays the same regardless. I mean, we definitely travel to Malden. I mean, last year we went to Park Hills and we filled their away set of bleachers with Caruthersville people. You're talking a 2.5 hour trip. Mm-hmm. So there's a good chance that we turn around and we see a packed Caruthersville side at Malden, and it's just like playing at home for us, except we had to take a bus there. But other than just the actual time schedule planning, we try to keep it as normal as possible for the kids. We run the same game day schedule. There's no tunnel and fog machine and stuff like that, but we walk out and we warm up the same way. We warm up at the same time, and we go pat and go and all this stuff at the same exact time. and we just get ready to roll.
Yeah, no doubt. Ryan, going to you as a senior, what kind of mark do you want to make in this season, your final year of the program? With only a few games left, what is sort of on your mind in this final season here at Caruthersville?
I'm wanting to play the best that I've ever played before, and really put on a show for our fans and end up leading us to a district championship and possibly a state championship and a conference championship. I just want to win everything.
And then also, spending so much time here in the program, what's the best advice, whether it's life advice or whether it's advice on the football field? What's the best advice you've gotten in your time in the program?
Probably. I don't know. That's a tricky question. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know about the advice part now. The coaching staff this year and last year definitely helped me out a lot when it comes to playing quarterback. Coach Trees, Joey, G, those three always helped me out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And going into Malden this week, talked about a little bit. Going to their place, what are you kind of looking at as far as them offensive and defensively? What has kind of stood out to both of you so far in preparing for them this week?
I'll go first.
Yeah, you got it.
So offensively, now we did a summer joint practice with them. So we kind of have a little exposure playing there, and I know that Coach Pulley didn't have all his guys that day. But just based on the film we saw, it's really hard to get a beat on somebody when they're playing Dexter. They run that half wing, single wing, spready type thing. So the base alignment to a true spread team's a little difficult, but we were able to kind of piece together their base defense just from other clips we saw of them in the preseason in the summer. Offensively, I mean, they've got a little bit of spread to them, and they've got a little bit of what Coach Pulley does well. They ran a little bit of that single wing type stuff with the lead draw or the lead dive type insert plays. I think the kid that played quarterback last year, he's speedy. Like, he's quick, and they do roll him out a lot, and they do put him on a lot of Q sweeps and all of that. So he's really something that we have to keep an eye on. I know one of their tackles is a big old joker. Like, he's big, and he's physical. We got to keep an eye on that aspect too. I know Coach Pulley, we kind of, since I've been here the last 3 years, we became pretty close. So I know what kind of program that he runs, and I know his kids are pretty disciplined, and they're going to be assignment sound. From what I can gather on their base defense, from everything that I've seen, and from the summer and their jamboree, and then to now, they're very similar to what we run defensively. I say similar; it's not the exact same, but it's something that we're comfortable running against. And again, they have some speed. Malden's always going to have some athletes. So, and I know second kickoff of the game against Dexter, they brought it back 88 yards. I mean, so they can pop big plays whenever. So for us, we're just going to be assignment sound. We have a game plan for them, both offensive and defensively. I feel really confident in both. I mean, Coach Streese is his 18th or 19th year coaching and won a ton of district titles. So I really put the faith in the defensive game planning in him, and I'm really happy with what he's got going on for this week. And then Joey's really grown into that offense coordinator role, and he's made some good decisions and good game plan decisions for this week and last week. So I think we're pretty solid on both ends, and it should be a good game.
What I really look for when I watched them play, I mean, I watched the Dexter film, but it wasn't really much use for me. I just really looked at, what's their front, how many people they blitz, and then I'll go to their secondary and I see who their playmakers are. So if there's a playmaker on the far right side of the field, I'm probably not going to throw to that side of the field. I'm trying to pick out the guys that are going to make plays on their defense and see see what they do, if they blitz a lot, what coverages they go in. I just basically scouting the whole defense.
No doubt. Let's spend some time. Let's have a little fun. Ryan, I asked Ramonte this last week and kind of talked to him about this. And Coach G, NFL and college, I got to ask, who do you go for?
I'm a Deion Sanders fan.
Okay.
I'm a real big Deion Sanders fan. So wherever he goes, that's probably what I'm a fan of. I like Shedeur too. So I'm probably a Colorado fan.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and jump and step on some toes here. I got the Colorado-Nebraska game as one of our picks this week. So I already know who you're going to pick in that one. So yeah, let's kind of go to college. Coach, I know you're happy about the result of the USC LSU game and what happened there.
I loved it. I will be mad at him forever. But not only did my weekend start out with a nice LSU loss, and then Notre Dame wins the top 20 game.
Yes.
Marcus Freeman, I was skeptical about him in the beginning. He's got a swagger to him, and those kids love him, and they'll play for him. And that was a good fought win on the road in College Station, and fired up. Great weekend. We win. LSU loses. Notre Dame wins.
Colorado.
And I guess Colorado won. I don't know if they played. But.
Yeah, they played North Dakota State. That's right.
Oh yeah, I watched the end of that game.
So this week,
DSU won.
This week we got the Colorado-Nebraska game, and you know what? Let's start out there. Ryan, I already know who you're picking. I already know who you're rolling with primetime. Coach, who you rolling with?
And it's not because I have a little feud with Ryan for the last 3 years. Matt Rule at Nebraska, he's a beast. Okay, he's a real football coach, and they have some of the best facilities in college football. They run the football, and anybody who knows me knows all of them run the football. They are not NDSU, and NDSU's a AA national champion perennial. But I'm telling you that Nebraska run game's a little different, and that's a physical football team. And I don't know, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd put my money on Nebraska.
Yeah, you know, Matt Rule, year 2. Usually he's built up Temple, he's built up Baylor. Historically, programs you don't build up. And this, you know, for either one of these programs, big building block, I think, going forward. Next one up, I got Tennessee, NC State, Charlotte. Of course, Tennessee, big win. NC State got the win this week. Who you guys are going with in that game?
I got Tennessee.
I guess I'll go with Tennessee.
Yeah, and I have a smile on my face because I am a Tennessee fan. So I don't have to say like, well, hold on now. Let's think about this. If one of y'all picked NC State, so so next game up, Boise State and Oregon. Boise State, you know their story. Oregon, kind of a slow win. How are you guys feeling about this matchup?
See that one, I didn't pay much attention to Oregon. Now, if it was last year, I'd definitely be picking Oregon, but I'll probably pick Oregon. I'll stick with them this year.
I'm a big coach guy, naturally. I can't remember his name, but I know for a fact that Oregon's O-line is really, really well coached. I coached on a team where a kid that played there now plays at Oregon. So I'm always going to have like a little bit of a fanhood for Oregon, even though I hate all their uniform combinations. And I know I go against the grain with that. Like, just pick a uniform and stick with it. They know.
They got the best uniforms in college.
Yeah, they're horrible. They barely match. So I'm going to go with Oregon just because I know, A, their recruiting base, just player to player, they're going to have more talent on the football field in that game. And then B, I know that they're really well coached. And I think if you have the Jimmies and the Joes and the guys running the X's and O's, you should be pretty decent. So I think they have both. I think they're pretty well off.
And then finally, this is probably the game of the week. Texas going up to the Big House at Michigan. Michigan kind of starting off a little bit slow against Fresno State. How do you think about this SEC? Still so weird to say that with Texas. SEC Big Ten matchup.
I'm gonna go with Texas.
Okay.
Just because of everything that happened at the end of Michigan season last year.
I agree with him for the first time ever. I think that Michigan's got a lot of distraction around their program right now. They did not play great week one. I watched a few plays of that. I think Texas is in a really good spot. Do I think they're going to win the national championship? Absolutely not. But I think they're a top 15 program, top 10 at best. I know people are always just going to love them just because there's a Manning on them. And Texas is always going to have the hype because they have the most value with their team in college football. But I think that's a win for them.
All right. And I'll close off with some NFL since the NFL gets kicked off later this week. By the time this goes up, the Chiefs and Ravens have already played. So I kind of want to ask you guys, the Chiefs, do you think they three-peat this year? How are you guys feeling about that?
Quick on.
So you take the field?
I'm maybe going to get into my NFL conspiracy theory right now. I am and I'm a Titans fan just by trade. I really, really dislike the NFL a lot.
I don't. I'm a fan of the stuff.
Just so I don't pay attention. If the Titans are on and we get it, I'll watch it. But I'd rather watch Division III football than an NFL game.
I got the Ravens beating the Chiefs in that one.
Ooh, okay. Go with Lamar there.
I'm going with Lamar. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Oh, man. You had to remind me Henry's on the Ravens now.
Yeah.
He's only got a year left till he starts breaking down.
This 1 year they run the breed options.
Yeah. That's right.
That's true. Hey, you can make everybody's dream come true on Madden and in fantasy football by putting those two together. So, yeah, I'm kind of. I think the Chiefs do three-peat, but I think it's going to be tough because you do have the Ravens, who they got a two-time MVP in Lamar, and you got the Lions, 49ers. So, I'm guessing the field, for a lot of people, is probably a safer pick than going with the Chiefs, even though they got number 15 on the sidelines, who's a bad man.
It's pretty good.
He's pretty good. He's not too bad. And also he's got, a great tight end in Kelsey. So, yeah.
He's not himself without 87.
That's true. I think you take a look at, the start of last year when, Kelsey was hurt, I think he kicked an eye to see that. But once he got him back, everything was a game changer and he started to find him a whole lot more. So, guys, that'll do it for this edition of the Coaches Show. Coach G, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, that'll do it for this edition of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Go find us on Facebook and YouTube. So with all that being said, everybody, have a good week, and we'll talk to you all next time.
That's a wrap for this episode of Talkin' Tigers on KCRV Radio. Join us tonight for the season opener at Hopkey Field as the Tigers take on the St.Pius Lancers. Paul Glass kicks off the pregame show at 6:45 p.m. and the action starts at 7 sharp. Our live video stream can be found on the KCRV streaming platforms with our radio broadcast on 105.1 KCRV FM.